Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we find ourselves first in the basement and then we're going to do the work in the apartment. And what we're going to be doing in the apartment is we're going to be installing this lock in the apartment upstairs on the new door. But the video is not so much about that than it is about this, because this lock, I'm just going to be installing it. There's much better how-to videos on YouTube, so if you're interested in seeing a how-to video, just Google the brand and the name of the lock and it'll come up. But I'm here to talk about this piece right here, which is the deadbolt. And it's very simple. It gets installed right here. We're gonna be doing the work upstairs, but I'm just gonna be using this as an example for now. This gets installed here, and when you open and close on this side, this deadbolt will come in and out. The problem that I'm finding with a lot of door frames is that they do not have the hole on this side. So I'm gonna show you the tricks that I use to find the location of where to make the hole here, so that when we close the door, this deadbolt can die into the door frame itself. So let's start by showing you the tools that I use. So when I first started installing these locks and making the hole in the door frame, I usually just took a hole saw, a standard hole saw, and just make sure it fits somewhat around it, and then just went and did the work with that hole saw. But to be honest, this hole saw, as you guys can see, let me see if you guys can see it clearly, these teeth are not straight dead on. These teeth are a bit crooked, and when you start drilling into the door frame, especially when it's metal, it doesn't bite right away. It scratches more than anything else, and it just destroys the door frames. I've always left dissatisfied with how the door frame was left after using this hole saw. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be using a different tool. But first, I am using this calibrator, I think. I don't know what this is called exactly. But I'm using this to find the size of this exactly, which is 1932s, and I'm gonna lock this right where it is. It doesn't have to be, perfect right on, but I'm going to be using a step bit. Now these are very expensive. These go for about $30 to $100. So I'm gonna be using this step bit because it leaves a much cleaner finish, and we have a whole bunch of sizes for other jobs that we could do. And as you can see, we have the size here, which is about, let's call it 3/4, and we have two other sizes. In worst case scenario, we could, make it bigger to get this deadbolt, in. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using, and it's gonna be something new for me. So I hope you guys could take something out of this. So let's see if this is gonna work. So there we go. We have the cross, and that is where we're going to be making the hole. The way that I found the vertical line is very simple. I got a laser and made it go across both screws and make sure it's in the middle with these two squares. Since I know that this hardware goes straight into this hole, I know this one's gonna be aligned so it's able to go in. Let me mention also, I got this line by taking out the deadbolt, finding the middle, making the mark, and using a tool to make this straight line on both sides. So that's in. So now what we're gonna be doing is starting with these drill bits, because I hate using this to start the hole. I'd rather have these start the hole and this step part of the drill to do the rest of the work. So we're gonna work our way from this level to here and then use this one. So let's start doing that now. Oh, well, that sucks. That didn't work out. So the hole is not lining up with the deadbolt. It looks like I have to shave, from what I saw, I have to shave on top on the door frame itself. So what I'm going to do is use a little bit of cream. That's not a little bit. But I'm gonna use some cream to close the door. Punch the door frame. And then see where I messed up. If you look, I messed up right here. This part right here. Editing Anthony here, and I'm gonna cut the scene just for a moment. I'm over here editing and looking for where I made my mistake, and I found it. I'm gonna cut to a picture of it right now. And the problem that I made was that I made the horizontal line about 1/4 of an inch too low. So if I was worried more about the line and less about me editing, making sure my mic is on, the camera is in the right spot, I would have seen that the horizontal line was too low. So if you are going to be doing this the way that I just did it, make sure that your line is at the right spot so you won't have to use a die grinder, or that die grinder bit on a regular drill. You don't really need a die grinder. If you measure it right, you won't have to use that tool. So yeah, I just thought that I'll cut and put this really quick in this part of the video because it's kind of important. Back to it. I'm gonna get a die grinder with a carbide bit to shave that little bit off. Unfortunately, 3/4 is the biggest that I have. If you have one bigger, you could just, you know, drill and make this hole bigger so that it closes right. But unfortunately, in this case, we will have to use a die grinder since this is all we have. So that's it. I made the hole. Let me show you guys it at work. That's locked. No one's getting in here. It's a little looser, to be honest, than what I like, but it is what it is. And usually it always comes out that way, even if you have the plate there, because you want this to have some play. So when you close it, it isn't slamming into the door frame itself. Instead of, it has enough room to go in and have a little bit of play. So it's locking, and that's all that matters. And let me show you how this came out. Not too bad. That's the paint on that side. I'm gonna try to clean that off. It didn't come out too bad. I'm not happy that I had to cut that out, but it is what it is. It looks good like that, as it is. So all we have to do now is install the hardware, which is there on top of the towel, and see if the mechanism works. But like I said, this is not a how-to video on how to install that. This is more a video of me showing you how I made the hole on the door frame itself. So let's get this mechanism on off camera, and hopefully it all works together. Well, everyone, the hole is made and the hardware is in. And as you can see, it is locking. And the hole is in. It's a little unclean and not exactly how I wanted it, but it is what it is. I really messed up And you guys saw early in the video where I made the pencil mark too low, but it's okay. It came out well. I'll be able to redeem myself when I do the same exact job in the basement. I have to perform it one more time. So I'll show you guys the right way to do this in that video maybe. But it is what it is. I was too worried about the camera and the angle that I completely just stopped paying attention to, you know, how well I measured it. So it is what it is. And as for this lock, the lock is great. It's good quality. Everything works well. Once you have it programmed, it is a couple of days later, so I was able to play with it for a while, and everything is pretty awesome. It has a doorbell on it. Let me see if I can get it to shut up now. Well, okay, now it stopped. So it has a doorbell on it, and it works well. It's just, I think personally, for upstairs in the apartment, at least in my situation, this is not what I want. There's no need for a camera. On top of that, the camera is way too high. You will have to be really close to the camera to see the face, unfortunately, but it's okay. I might just take this and bring it to the basement. What I am gonna put here is a Baldwin name brand one that goes here, and it's just the code. It doesn't have a camera, it doesn't have a doorbell or any of that stuff. So let's see. So maybe in the next video where I will be making the hole downstairs in the basement, I'll be bringing this one down and getting one that doesn't have a camera for up here. So yeah, so this door project is officially done. This door is in, we are safe in the apartment, and it's good. Really love this bottom hardware. That is amazing and great. The door's in, and there's nothing more we could do on this front, so it's time we start moving to the basement and continuing in that project, because I did have to put that on pause while doing this door, because home safety is way more important than whatever's going on down there. So if you learned something new and learned something new from my mistakes, give me a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. And if you're interested in seeing other projects that I have going on at home and elsewhere, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.